What is up, SMITE fans? Now we are here with the solo laner of the Tartarus Titans, and we're going to do a little bit of a solo tier list. Once again, I have to preface, this is not for competitive, this is ranked specifically. So we have a big list here of characters that we've deemed viable in ranked. Obviously, there's a bunch in the solo lane specifically, but these are the ones that we wanted to pick out the most. SOT, what are you thinking about Achilles?
Yeah, Achilles is a very, one of the most standard solo laners in the game.
Right.
I always joke and say he has the best level 1 to 20, but his early game is extremely strong, and he's also a really good fallback late game with his passive and like the defense stance and his execute. So I put him for ranked. I put him A tier. Okay,
and are you more of a Bluestone or like Warrior's Axe? What is your build thinking?
Everything works on him, but I like Bluestone just because it's good early game. Yeah. But I mean, Sigil's very good for the late game.
Okay. I haven't seen too much Sigil, but you think okay.
Yeah, I like Achilles.
What about Amaterasu? Now this is more that Death Toll star we see.
I would put her S tier actually, because you just go Death's Embrace. You go like Berserker Shield, Shoguns, Frostbound, Cad Shield, Sphere Over Mantle build, or Nemean, and you can actually 1v5.
Yeah, just all of these auto attack warriors right now are pretty solid in the meta, you'd say. Yeah. Okay, so obviously some Guardians are going to be added in here. We see a lot of this Vamp Shroud star. What about Ardio? Pretty highly contested right now.
Ardio, I'd put her in A tier. You know, in competitive it's a bit different, but in Ardio and ranked, I mean, you can't really abuse her strength as much.
Okay, hard to hard carry games with Ardio specifically, but you're still going to be able to be useful in team fights.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Atlas. This is one that I see a fair bit. I thought we would add in here. Obviously, more so in support and comp, but in ranked, I think he has some viability there. What do you think?
Yeah, I played him. I played him a few times. I'd put him a C tier. He's not that bad. I mean, if you're like 5-man comms and ranked and you're actually playing like sort of competitive style, he's not too bad. But his wave clear, you have to use your dash to clear wave if you're maxing, or you max your 1, you have to use 2 casts of it to clear. And so you get kind of abused.
Okay. All right. Athena, this is another one that I haven't seen too much of, but we used to see a bit of the Defender of Olympus. That global presence can be kind of useful. What are your thoughts?
I put her in B tier.
Okay.
She's not too bad. Her clear isn't too great, so if you have like a lane bully, she'll definitely get bullied. But you can make plays if you ult around the map, but it's kind of hard to like set up Athena ult plays without communication. So.
Yeah, and you're gonna miss your farm whenever you leave lane, so you want to make sure you're using that ult effectively. Bologna, this one probably pretty contested as well.
I put her in SS if I could, whatever, or the highest tier possible.
Okay, very strong.
Basically, same thing as Amma. I thought Amma was a bit better like start of the season. I still think she is better at carrying ranks, maybe, but maybe not ranked. But Bologna just wins lane really easily because of her bludgeon, AoE autos, and has the same sort of thing Amma does late game, where you just kind of Death's Embrace on people. You can't really die. You make the carry non-existent. So
that Frostbound, same sort of build is just really effective on her. Okay. All right, Cerberus. This is another one of those Guardians, obviously. Sort of decent matchup in Ardio. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a bit even. Cerb can win that. I think it's kind of 50-50 whoever plays it better, but I think I put Cerb in B tier along with, or sorry, A tier, sorry, along with Ardio. Kind of the same thing as Ardio.
Yeah, a lot of damage, good bit of CC.
Yeah, same thing, but he does a bit more damage, and it's pretty much probably better in ranked.
Yeah, okay. All right, Camazotz, obviously we just talked about Camazotz in the jungle tier list, but very highly contested in solo as well.
Yeah, I put him S tier. He's really hard to die now that you have the Bat Out of Hell buff, and he just one of the highest pressure solo laners in the game.
Just lots of sustain built into the kit. Crazy poke as well. Cthulhu, we've been seeing a little bit of a rise of. We used to see this big Cthulhu meta. It sort of petered out when these auto attackers came back, but now I'm seeing him again. Why is that?
They buffed his 1. They gave it like 30 base damage, and if you give any character in the game 30 base damage, or any physical character 30 base damage, they're gonna be pretty good. I would put him C tier along with Atlas. He's not very good in ranks because you can't really solo carry.
Okay, all right, you don't value the team fight presence as much. Yeah. Okay, all right, what about Cabrakan though? This is another one of these characters we're seeing a lot of.
Yeah, I put him C tier. He's very good in jungle. I'd put him like A tier, S tier in jungle.
You prefer more damage built into his kit?
Yeah, yeah. In ranked, I mean, he can't really kill multiple people. He can like one-shot one person, but in ranked it's not too useful. So. Okay.
All right, what about Chalk, though? We've seen the Transcendence build on Chalk coming into fruition a bit. What are your thoughts about him?
Yeah, I put him in A tier. I always thought he was pretty solid in ranked. Like, I always tell new players when they come to my stream and ask who they should play. I think Chalk's the perfect god for anyone who's not really too well versed in solo lane. I mean, he's very solid right now. Like in the meta, he's a decent god in my opinion.
Right.
Easy to play. You can't really mess him up. He's decent late game now with like, if you go Bluestone, the Bluestone Bruce, she's pretty good. So yeah, I'd say Chonk.
Okay, good fair bit of damage then. Zhang Kui, I had to add this one because I personally think he's pretty solid. Just a fun character to play. But how about the viability? What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I would put him probably A tier. He's pretty solid. If you go mannequins, you hard win lane. You can go animosity late game, and your little
the card
thing procs animosity twice, so you can actually like go full attack speed Zhang, or you can just go Vamp Shroud and just kind of go like a bruiser build, like a flat pen, Voidstone, Celestial, stuff like that. And I always joke about like Zhang Kui is like one of the top 3, like the bane of my existence, like my kryptonite, because in the ranks he's just so lame you can't kill him. Yeah,
if you can blink to the back line as a Zhang, I feel you can impact your team fights pretty heavily. So solid A tier for Zhang. What about Vamna though? We were just talking about, Layers was saying the anti-heal sort of shuts him down. Is he still useful or no?
I would put him in Z tier, F tier, whatever the lowest tier is.
Okay, we'll go D. We'll go D,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, he's like probably the, like, I don't know, I'd rather have Discordia or Zeus and Solo Lane at this point. Like he used to be good when like Benevolence was good. You could outfarm the opponent really easily, but now there's no really good starters for him.
So so it's not the Ankh specifically that's shutting him down. It's just the fact that his kit, or
honestly, a big part of his Ankh, like he has either the best ult in the game or the worst ult.
Right, I agree with that.
And there's a way you can play him that makes him useful. You treat him sort of as like a Nike or a Cthulhu, where you just you build like tanky, and then you just ult in a team fight, and instead of going like auto attack and trying to like chase them down like Game Hunter style, you kind of just like absorb damage for your team, but that's not very good in ranked.
Right.
And he still is not a great kit. So.
Okay. I agree with your placement then, if that's, so. We have tier though. Used to be pretty solid. I think you like playing tier a lot. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I put him in B tier. I played him a lot in the past. I even got like a Master's Port on him in ranked one time. But he's good at just not dying, but overall he's just not a very good god at the moment, like in the meta at least.
Do you miss that sort of movement speed style for him?
Yeah, movement speed is very good in ranked, even competitive too. It just helped him do what he wants to do, which is like get behind people.
Right.
His ult is just kind of weak, and he doesn't heal as much now thanks to the what's it called, the
out of combat.
Yeah, the out of combat like anti-brawl thing. The lures are healing. He's not very good with that, unfortunately. I put him B tier.
All right, solid. Now, Shiva, obviously, we haven't seen him too much in rank because he wasn't available. Now that he is, have you gotten a chance to play him, and what are you thinking?
Yeah, I play him quite a bit. I put him A tier. I think he's solid. His early laning phase, like his 1 and 2 specifically, is really bad because you don't have your escape, and his abilities are really close range, so people get baited all the time. So let's say if you're a new Shiva player, I would say be careful with level 1 to 2, because if you walk up to the wave, they'll go on you. And late game or like end of like in team fights, if you ult, sometimes you'll die to like a Kali or like any kind of hunter with chin signs that just like hits you, because I mean you have mitigation, but you're not really hitting them. You're not really like doing much. You're just kind of healing. But his ult is really good for healing in team fights. But yeah, he's a decent god overall in ranked. So.
Yeah, I think it's just going to take a bit for us to feel how his kit goes. But you're right. Late game, his ult, you sort of get shredded down.
Yeah, you have to kind of play back with your team more.
All right, well, on the opposite side of that, a very safe pick, I feel. What about this Wukong?
Yeah, I put Wukong A tier. He's very good with the Soul Eater buff right now, the 25% healing on abilities. CAD Shield as well. Like Soul Eater, Breastplate Genji's, Bluestone, Shift to Shield, stuff like that. He's very good. He's like Chalk, basically, where you can't really lose lane. You just kind of clear the lane and then run off. It's pretty solid.
And just rotate and start chunking some mages, stuff like that. Okay. Now, Odin, more of a niche counter pick, but he used to have a place where you could just pick him wherever. Now, I haven't seen him too much. Why is that?
Yeah, well, they just nerfed his kit, basically. They nerfed him a lot of ways. They nerfed his 2 cooldown, his 1 cooldown. They nerfed his 2 shield, which is really rough. They nerfed his items. They nerfed Pridwin. They nerfed Mystical Mail. They nerfed Blackthorn. They nerfed Axe. There's so many nerfs towards his way, and he's still good, actually. So I would put him A tier. I'm thinking A or S, but probably A tier. Okay. He's good just because his shield is a very low cooldown, and you can kind of like play like a monkey in the back line, or in their back line, just jumping around, wasting time. And you can solo carry games, but since it's nerfs, he's not as good as before. Okay,
all right, but Osiris, though, all of these auto attack warriors I'm seeing in S tier. Is Osiris going to follow suit?
Yeah, I'd put Osiris in S tier, just because you play him sort of like you just W key the back line. They can't really do much with you. If you use your tether well and you have your passive, use your passive well, you juke well. You can buy so much time in the back line and still kill people. So And he also does pretty good in lane versus most characters, especially like Kama, Amma as well.
So he's a solid lane matchup into these top picks of the world as well. Okay. Jormungandr, I've seen very much in the EU circuit, not so much around here. Is it because he's not strong, or he is and we just don't know it?
I think he's bad, so I'd probably put him in like D tier.
Okay.
At least for ranks. Maybe in competitive it's a bit different story, but he's not bad if you go like Gilded Arrow, because it makes his breath do like quite a lot of damage to the wave. And if there's a few buffs like to Jade Empress Crown, you can go like kind of mid game. Stone Up Binding is buffed, but he's still like he just dies really easily.
You're just not valuing him over these Guardians.
Yeah, I would definitely go those other Guardians over him for sure.
Okay. All right, Tsukuyomi, this is one that you asked me to set up here. I haven't seen too much Tsukuyomi, but you play him in ranked, you're saying, and how strong is it?
Yeah, I mean, people play him a decent amount in high-end ranks, like especially a solo named Ramakami. He's a challenger player.
Right.
I'd put him honestly in S tier. Because he does really well in lane.
Does he win lane that hard, that's why?
Yeah, in certain matchups he does. In some matchups he's really bad, like into Susanoo, for example. People play Susanoo solo as well. That kind of counters him because you just pull him during his Tsukuyomi 2 and he can't really do anything. But his poke is really good if you just 1 them and the wave, and you pick up your 1 again, and you 3 the wave. So like when the front archers are like coming to hit you and you're like hitting their solo laner, the wave is dying to the count drops. And in solo lane, people can't really go Aegis too well. They go Blink Beads.
That's fair, yeah.
So Tsukuyomi does like the full damage. So
you're saying if you are picking Tsukuyomi, you want to make sure you're trying to win this lane pretty hard.
Yeah, you want to be fighting.
Okay, gotcha. You're not sitting at that tower line.
Yeah.
All right, King Arthur used to be the king of the solo lane. Not so much now.
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Yeah, I would put him D tier. Honestly, he's better in ranked than competitive. That's saying something. But
is it just because it's so easy to cripple out his dashes? He doesn't really get that value. When players know how to shut him down, it's easier too, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't do as much as he used to, like all around. He's good when you're like level 20 full tank with Bluestone, but Arthur isn't really good late game. I mean, he's a lot better when he had Greaves and Miscumel and Sonagaya, stuff like that, but now the items just don't favor him. Okay.
All right, Hercules, another one of those characters that I haven't really been seeing. Have you been seeing him, and if so, how good?
Not recently, actually, but literally not like, I don't think I've seen him once in season. I've seen him one time in season 9 actually. So, but I would put him S tier in my opinion, all the way at the top. Mainly just because of how much damage he has level 5. Even like level 2 when he gets to lane, he hits so hard. And late game he's really good because if you go like regrowth and like blink and stuff, you can really displace their carries, and people are not very good versus Hercules in ranks. Like they panic beads, like they get pulled, and then if you pull them as Hercules, wait for them to beads. People always beads as soon as you get pulled, so you're able to just get a free push. And he sort of played like Osiris. You kind of just run around the back line.
Yeah, I found early game, people stack up as passive on accident. They don't really know what's happening, and then you're able to get an early kill on him. So
definitely,
So early game pressure, and then late game, a lot of displacement.
Yeah, if you just get camped, he's really bad from behind. But besides that, he's really good.
All right. Gilgamesh. Now, this is, again, more so we see in the jungle, but you think he still has a lot of pressure in that solo lane. What about this?
Yeah, he's pretty good at Bluestone. He has 4 abilities that proc it, and he's relatively safe because he just jump away. He's safer to ganks, but in my opinion, he's not very, he can get soloed pretty easily, but overall, I think he's good because you just go Bluestone, and you kind of just, you're really tanky, so you just jump in and brawl the backline. I'd put him in B tier, honestly. He's not bad. He's just a lot better in jungle. Okay,
yeah, I respect that. I mean, the hybrid build doesn't favor him as much. You really want those auto attack centric items, but obviously Berserker Shield, if you can make use out of those items, you're still going to get some value. Yeah. Okay. Klina, I feel like I don't even have to ask you at this point because of what I've seen from her, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd put her in like whatever the highest tier is. Like I'd put her higher than S, honestly, but for now, we'll just do S. Just because, she heals so much with Cad's shield now and Soul Eater. And she's extremely safe because she has such a very long dash, and you can go into a wall if you get ganked. As long as you sit on the side of where the wall is in the jungle, you can. It's really hard to get ganked, and she kind of wins so many matchups. People in rank don't really know how to play versus her.
Yeah, whenever I'm trying to analyze this character on the desk, I say things like it's very difficult to play against her because people aren't used to getting damage from a wall, things like that. And right now, as you said, the sustain on this character is just pretty nuts. So. Above S tier, if you could place her there, but that's just showing how good she is right now. Another character that has a fair bit of sustain, but not seen so much play. What are your thoughts about Guan?
Guan isn't too bad. His pre-level like 7 or 8 is not great. Once you get points into your Talu Assault, he's good. But there are a lot of gods you can kind of counter it, like stop his Talu Assault, which isn't that big of a deal because the cooldown got reduced, and you have like blue buff,
your cooldown resets naturally built in.
Yeah, so it's not that bad, but like things like Achilles or Ardeo really farm him. So I'd put him in like B tier for ranked. I mean, he's not bad at all. You just
have to be careful for your matchups.
Yeah, and he's not like uber great late game either because you don't really play as a team too well unranked. So.
Okay. Now Ullr, this is another one that you recommended we put on this list. What are your thoughts about Ullr solo and ranked?
Yeah, I put him in S tier just because I haven't seen him lose pressure like level 2 at all to anyone. Like he has like 4 abilities level 2, and if you, like the biggest thing about Ullr is hitting your axes and just hitting your abilities in general. If you can land your abilities, he's like one of the best solo laners in ranked, period. Are
you just building like Bluestone Transcendence?
Yeah, I go Bluestone Trans, and then you can go either Jotun's Wrath Hydras, or you can go like Blackthorn Hydras, and then Crusher, and then like Heartseeker. That's usually what I do.
Just full damage Ullr solo, making sure you get ahead early, and then just rotating and carrying.
Yeah, he's been played quite a lot by like people like Slash and Ramakami. I've tasted my own medicine a few times with that, and it's not fun at all. Like, it's not fun.
All right, so if you're able to hit all of your abilities on Ullr, pretty strong pick in the solo lane as well. Mulan, though, I haven't seen too much of.
Yeah, no, Mulan's solid. She used to be like extremely good. Like some of the highest pressure in the game. I don't even know what happened to her, honestly.
I just think it's these sort of warriors are taking over, so the more ones Warriors X, but she still gets pressure. You're saying, what do you think?
I'd put her in A tier personally, just because just the way her kit is, she does a lot of damage early game, and she's good late game as well.
Are you thinking Warriors X or more so that Bluestone?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. Maybe Sigil, honestly.
Okay, you have been talking. Yeah, I want to see some more Sigils, man.
Yeah, the Explodey Sigil is pretty good, especially it's a lot better in ranked because you're fighting a lot.
That's fair. Yeah.
People don't expect it if you don't want to play versus it. So you go like Pridwin, Explodey Sigil. And you just
like ult in and then double explode.
Yeah, you ult in and they just die pretty much.
Okay. All right. What about Erlong? Again, more so see in the jungle, but you're saying there's some viability there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd put him in A tier. He might even be a little bit better, but put him in A tier for now. He's sort of similar to like Bologna Ama. You just kind of get Death Toll and you can't really lose lane. He doesn't really lose lane to almost anyone except like Ardeo and a few gods like maybe like Camma or Bologna, but. He just gets a ton of pressure, and Haddix has been playing him a ton in ranked. Like every game, I literally ban that. I ban that when I know I'm against him, just because it just gets so much pressure in lane.
All right, the extra auto attack damage and just the safety, unless you're against a character like Ardeo with the cripple, is gonna be pretty solid there. All right, what about Chongatha? This is a mage that we see these sort of hybrid builds out of the solo lane. Doesn't really get pressure early, but late game can sort of rotate these team fights. What are you thinking?
I'd probably put her in B tier. She's solid, very good in lane with Vamshroud, and has great sustain. Just late game, it's a bit rough because she has like an identity crisis almost, where she doesn't really like. It's hard to like balance like going full damage, like one shot, and balance like being like a tanky healer and stuff like that. It's kind of like she's not very good at like that kind of style. So you can't like pick one style, and if you do, she's not too bad. Like game, you just ult the carries and you one shot them.
So you want to try to build a little bit of damage, but also not too much tank stats that you're not doing nothing. Okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense to me. Bastet, this is another one of those picks that we see a lot in the jungle, but also in the solo lane, sort of just hybrid, but more so full damage. What are you thinking about Bastet?
I'd put her in A tier. She's very good, like sort of like a mini Klina. I would put her in S tier before, like Season 8, end of Season 8, when they changed her kit, but they give her a lot of nerfs, especially to her passive, and like 40 base damage off her 1, 20 base damage off her 2 per tick at the last max rank, whatever. And she's taking a lot of hits, but she's still good because you go Soul Eater, Cat Shield, Breastplate, Genji, stuff like that, Blackthorn maybe, and sort of like Klina, you do the same thing. Just a bit less.
Sustain built into the kit. It's pretty easy to survive those ganks because you can just throw your ult and just like shut down the jungle and then run away. And the pounce as well has a lot of outplay potential. So just a strong, safe pick, gets a little bit of pressure there. Sett, though, this is another assassin in the solo lane. I honestly haven't seen too much Sett recently. Used to be kind of the king of the map, not so much as more. What are you thinking?
Yeah, he was completely broken when he had Bumba's Hammer, and you could, when Bumba's Hammer worked on his 2, where it would give you a stack every time you 2'd, so you'd ult and you just spam Bumba's Hammer. I would put him in B tier along with like Chonga and stuff. In jungle, I'd put him in like S tier. I ban that god every game. I try to at least. He doesn't do as much as he does in jungle because he doesn't have a lot of CC. He's pretty much like just a diver, like you would in jungle, but just less damage, and you still die fast.
All right, well, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, here we have the solo back, Once again, the Guardians are in the meta right now. I haven't seen too much Sobek, but we used to. Is there a reason for that, or do you think he's still good?
I think people just probably don't have too much fun with Sobek.
Yeah.
You don't have fun playing versus him or against him, so I'd put him in like C tier probably.
A lot of these Guardians are ending up there.
Yeah. If you want to ruin people's day and just like ruin someone's like time playing solo lane, just pick Sobek. He's very safe. You can't really die, but I don't know. He doesn't do too much late game.
Okay, yes, it's a solid, annoying pick. A lot of displacement. You just clear waves and sit under there. I gotcha. Nike, sort of a similar play style, but also you can get aggressive early. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'd put her along with Sobek in C tier. Like basically same thing as Cthulhu, like literally the exact same thing. The thing about Nike is her early laning isn't too bad, so you're kind of sacrificing lane for a better team fight. But in ranked, team fights aren't usually 5v5 and really like you're not really correlated with your team. And she can't really solo the carries too well. So if you can't solo carries in ranked, then you're not really having a good time. So I'd put her in C tier.
Okay, someone who doesn't really have that much trouble soloing the carries. Our last god is going to be Nemesis solo. You've seen a little bit of play her recently in the league. What are you thinking about the Nem?
Yeah, I'd put Nem in. I'd put her in B tier. I like her a lot, and a lot of people like her a lot in ranked recently. She's very good in certain matchups. Some matchups like tier do really bad versus her or destroy her really a lot.
If you could interrupt the shield, you're saying her lane matchup's not great.
If Nem can't like walk up to the lane and like auto and like do her thing, then she's not great. Like Hercules does that as well. Like he just pushes her when she walks up to the wave.
Yeah, she doesn't have great clear, but that late game is what
if you're in a good matchup, if you're in a good matchup, then you'll be chilling and have a good time.
All right, so now that we have pretty much the whole list here, is there anything you want to change? You think this looks pretty solid?
Yeah, it looks good. I'd honestly probably move Alice down to B.
Okay. Down to B or up to B?
Sorry, down to the bottom.
Down to D, that's what I thought you were saying. Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to
me.
All
right, so this is our quintessential ranked tier list for solo lane. Not every character, obviously, but these are the ones we're seeing most of at the moment, at the very least. We have seen or will see, obviously. SOT, thank you so much for taking the time to make this with us. Again, if you guys have any issues with this list, make sure to screenshot, tweet it at both of us, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. So thank you all for watching, and yeah, it's been fun.
Hey, wait, what did it win?
You win the respect.
You're telling me an alien wore this?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, that was a good cut.
Messaging him to mute.
The best graphics you really need, Ultra, of course, and I can probably watch a stream on the side.
Content's gonna look good.
Pretty good, pretty good.